Hi, I'm hot. It is 25 degrees today. My room is a loft conversion, so the temperature in here is 10 times the temperature outside. This t-shirt is so thick. I know people like to laugh at the Brits saying that they're too hot when it's sunny, but if you have never experienced British heat, it's specifically British heat in a loft conversion, don't come for me, okay? This could be quite a short video, or I might ramble, but I'm very, very hot. And I also got a new piercing today. I got my tragus or tragus, this little one right here. I got that pierced today. Today, talking about notebooks. I assume that this comes as no surprise. I feel like if you read, you also like to write. I love the quote that reading is breathing in and writing is breathing out. So I'm going to talk through the notebooks that I have, what I use them for, how often I use them. Love a notebook, who doesn't? Oops. Oh, okay, fantastic. The first thing that I use that is not really a notebook, but kind of, is my Filofax. I get so much shit for this. So many people laugh at me when I whip this out, when I have to put a date in the diary. They ask me when I'm free and I'm popping open my extremely long yearly calendar. So I have always been a Google calendar on my phone gal. But this year I was just like, I will never have those records. I will never be able to look back at what I was doing in this year or that year, or how many plans I had, or who I was seeing, and I just thought it would be nice to have something physical where I can keep the paper, bind it together, and in 20, 30, 40 years time I can look and think, oh, that's what I was doing when I was 25. It might sound silly, but I just like to have physical copies of things. So I bought myself a Filofax. This is the Pocket Holborn in the brown colour. It is, compared to my hand, it's very, very small. It's kind of like a purse size. I love this thing. So it has, I don't think you can see any details. It has some card holders here and a little pocket there and a little pocket here. It's full of secret pockets. And then actually on the back, it has this is where I keep all my receipts for my parcel returns. It has a pocket here and a pocket there. And this pocket actually has a zip. And then on the top, we have another pocket. Honestly, you wouldn't even need a handbag, you just take this out. So I use this as my daily planner, monthly planner, yearly calendar, and any notes that I have while I'm out and about. I do carry a pen around with it in the spine, in the spirals. I keep that there. And it also means I'm never without a pen, because I always have this with me. So in the front I have this little, there's like a little wallet thing. I have this Barbie little card from 1981. I found that in a random shop in, I think it was Japan. So I just keep that in the front. I just think it's a cute little cover. Then I flip into my yearly calendar, so that thing is out, and I obviously just write all my plans on there. Then I have two of these like ruler things, and that allows me to flip straight to my week, and then the other one flips to the day. All pages with to-do lists that I tick off, and then just random notes, sticky notes, all these sorts of things. And then I keep my return receipts in the back. So that is my like carry it around really small notebook. If I ever have an idea or something I want to jot down while I'm out and about, I'll write it in here. This is like my reference point that I use all the time. I love this thing. I would highly recommend converting yourself from a digital phone calendar to a Filofax. Don't care if anyone calls me 95. I think it's cute. Love my Filofax. The other two that I use on an almost daily basis, these are both from, now I don't know how you say it. I think it's Lectern, this brand. They are very, very popular books. I have the hardcovers. The green one is my Commonplace and the burgundy one is my journal. So I probably use my Commonplace more daily than I use my journal. So commonplacing, if you haven't heard of it or you don't do it, is basically a notebook where you collect ideas, thoughts, quotes, notes, anything that comes from an outside source that is useful to you, you might want to remember, you might want to refer back to. And there's multiple ways of organising this. Some people do by colour, some people do by keyword or topic, theme. There's a lot of ways to do a commonplace. I use this as basically a brain dump of everything that I might want to remember, specifically all my notes on books. So how I chose to organise it, this brand of book come with a nice little index page, so you can write it all up nicely. So I chose to do it in chunks of pages, and then I will just add a chunk of pages for a new topic. So I have notes from YouTube videos, notes on spiritual books and yoga, notes on fiction, notes on non-fiction, quotes and anecdotes, new words I learn, notes from documentaries, and then I started a short course on analysing a novel, so I will have all my notes in there in the back. So I basically, if you flick through it, you can see where obviously my words start to appear in all those different pages. So I left myself sort of like 40 pages for each category, depending on how much I thought I would write. How I write notes on books is I write the page number and then either the quote or the thought that I had, so I can reference it. I often don't go back to them, but just in case I ever wanted to, I can. The other thing I like about this notebook company is it comes with 2 bookmarks, so I can keep 2 separate places in my Commonplace, which for my journal is not really that helpful, but for Commonplacing it's nice to have. Usually I have one in my non-fiction section and one in my fiction section, because that's my 2 most frequently used. So for example, when we get to my fiction section, sometimes I have a lot of notes, sometimes I don't really have any if I DNF the book. Some books take up quite a few pages, some don't. I'm reading all the little live things by Wally Stegner at the minute, and this is the notes that I have so far. And I'll just like write myself little questions and the page number after it, or like what I was thinking, or little summaries, things that I might think, just any thought that I'm having whilst I'm reading. Same with documentaries or YouTube videos, or like the course that I'm doing, the short course from Substack. Just anything that I think is of note, or something that I might want to refer back to, something that I think will be helpful in the future, gets written in this. So I use this pretty much every day. I love this book, and I just love the little green colour as well. The other thing that's really, really helpful is the pages are already numbered in this, which is why the index of page numbers worked really well. Because it was already numbered. I didn't have to go through and write every single number. So I would recommend getting this company's notebook if you want to do a Commonplace. My other lectern, I don't know how you say it, is my journal. So this is literally just thoughts and feelings. Do you know, every single year I always start a journal, and I think I'm yet to actually get to the end of a book. I always forget like halfway through the year, so I'm determined this year. I don't have to fill it. I might go into 2026 in this because it's a lot of pages. However, I'm determined to finish this book. I don't care how many years it takes me. So in the front on the contents pages on this one, I decided to keep a log of the books I've read and the movies I've watched / TV shows and their ratings, because I just thought that would be nice to look back on of what I watched that year. The other thing about keeping track of things, like with the Commonplace and like keeping my books and movies in the front, is that you can see how your taste has progressed, how you used to think. Like in my Commonplace, I might go back to that book, read it in 5 years' time, be able to look at my notes from now compared to what I think about it in 5 years' time. So it's just nice to have that physical copy that you can reference and see how you've changed, see how your taste has changed. You can see the evolution of yourself. Same with journaling. You can see how the things that you thought, the things that you were feeling, the things that you watched, liked, whatever, you have a physical record that you can track over your life, which I just really like. So this is just like, for my first page in here, I wrote my yearly goals, what I wanted, what I liked about last year. This is just my brain dump. I'm only about 30 pages in, but brain dump, just write and write and write journal. So I don't use this every day. I try to write sort of every few days. I do need to be better about writing in it more. I never want to force it. I just want to write in here when I feel like I need to. So this is just my everyday journal. Not every day, I've just said I don't use it every day. You know what I mean. Next thing is a travel journal. Now, you could just take a regular notebook. You could just use your normal journal that you're in the middle of. I used this one and finished this one on a long-term backpacking trip, so that's why I took a separate book, so that I knew that this whole trip was in this book. So this is one from Papier. You spell the brand like that. I think it's called Papier, but I picked the Sunshine one because I was going to Asia and I just thought it was a nice little pattern. So this one is really interesting. It's set up in journeys. Kept a reading log on the front page of all the books that I've read. You obviously use this over a number of years, but you get 6 journeys, and then within the journeys it has trip ideas. I didn't really use that section, but you get journey 1, and then within those you put obviously your place, your currency, thoughts. I've stuck like a label in there. transport methods that you took, and accommodation that you stayed in, write about it. And then I just kept a journal of everything that I was doing, stickers from each place, and I basically filled this whole thing from my trip to Asia with stickers and anything. One of my favourite things that I kept doing was I would always keep a banknote from the country and then write the currency conversion so that in years and decades to come I know how much money this was worth. And I just think it's, oops, that's upside down. I think it's really nice to just have those banknotes and like keep that kind of thing. I just thought it was a nice thing to have a memory of. This specific travel journal is really, really great. Obviously I've filled this one up, and I do think it's slightly more geared towards slightly longer trips, because within each journey you have like 10 journaling pages. So if you weren't in a country for a while or doing a lot of stops or moving around, you might struggle to fill it. So my new journal, my new travel journal is this one. This is completely full, so when I go on my next trip I will use this one. This one is from Rifle Paper Co. It's got this beautiful cloth bound like safari print. This one will last me years because it's slightly different in that you have travel destinations and places you want to visit, blah blah blah. You get 4 pages per country, so I guess if you were doing like multiple stops within the same trip, you would just write the location in that country and then have multiple pages. So in this one you get location, date, people you're with, lodging notes, places to see, things to do, and then you have a memento page, so you just write about, or like stick things in like the banknotes, any stickers you find. Then you have mementos to write about it. So you basically have like 4 pages per trip. So for example, this year I'm going to Turkey and I'm doing 3 stops, so I'll do 3 separate locations. I'll do like Istanbul, Turkey, and then Fethiye, Turkey, all on separate things. So I think you can fit, I'm sure it said 50 in here, so that should last me quite a number of years. And I think that'll be really cool that it's going to last me longer, because I'll be able to see where I went for like, I don't know, it could last me like 5 years or even longer, 10 years, I don't know. And it's got some note pages at the back, so I'm very excited to use this. I go on holiday in June, so I can take this with me and use it for the first time, because I love, love, love to be able to keep track of the things I was doing, the things I was feeling while I was traveling somewhere, because you'll never remember that. You won't get that back, so it's nice to be able to read it. And the last one, which I actually don't even think I've started now, I've written morning pages and then done nothing with it, but this is going to be the journal that I will use when I start the Artist's Way, which has been on my New Year's resolution / to-do list since the start of the year. I have yet to start it. It's on my desk and I will start it, and I will write my morning pages and my thoughts and things while I'm doing that book course in this notebook. I don't even know where this is from. Oh, it's a moleskin. It's just a black soft cover moleskin. So that is going to be my Artist's Way morning pages book when I do that. I might even do like a video series on my experience with the Artist's Way. We'll see. So that is all of the books that I like to keep, all of the books that I use and what I use them for. If there's any journals that you think are a good thing that you like to keep, anything you like to keep track of, let me know, because I'm always open to buying a notebook. I am a sucker for stationery. And I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.